Have you ever felt a subtle shift in certain relationships as you started to heal, to grow, to truly shine? A quiet resentment, a faint sabotage, a sense that your newfound peace was somehow unsettling to those you once held dear. It's a profound paradox of personal evolution. The very light you cultivate within yourself can at times cast unsettling shadows in the lives of others, revealing their own unaddressed darkness and threatening the comfortable stasis they've built. This isn't about malice or intentional harm, it's about the uncomfortable, often heartbreaking truth that your healing can be perceived as a direct threat to someone else's carefully constructed comfort zone, leading to a profound and often painful loneliness on your path to greater authenticity. If this resonates with something deep inside you, if you've ever felt this strange isolation on your journey to wholeness, hit subscribe. This channel, The Inner Light, explores the truths others are often afraid to acknowledge, guiding you through the often unseen landscapes of the mind and soul and illuminating the paths to genuine connection. We embark on journeys of self-discovery, driven by an innate yearning for clarity, peace, and a deeper connection to our authentic selves. We invest tirelessly in healing old wounds, shedding layers of outdated beliefs, and consciously cultivating a radiant inner light. Yet as we ascend to higher states of being, we often discover a challenging truth. Not everyone can or will ascend with us. The very act of stepping more fully into our power, of embracing our true potential, and living in alignment with our highest self can inadvertently illuminate the unaddressed shadows in others. This exposes their stagnation, their deeply ingrained fears, and their unresolved pain, often without a single word being spoken. This isn't a deliberate act of aggression on their part, but rather a subconscious, almost instinctual reaction to the disruption of an established energetic dynamic. Your growth becomes an undeniable mirror, reflecting what they are not yet ready to confront within themselves. In that stark reflection, their discomfort manifests in myriad ways, as subtle resentment, passive-aggressive remarks, or even outright, though often covert, sabotage. This video will delve deep into the profound emotional psychology and the intricate energy dynamics at play when your burgeoning light threatens the entrenched darkness in others. More importantly, we will explore how to navigate the inevitable loneliness that can accompany such a powerful yet isolating transformation, and how to ultimately find new, authentic connections. Chapter 1. The Unspoken Contract of Stagnation, when your growth breaks the mold. Before your conscious journey of healing began, there was likely an unspoken, often unconscious contract woven into the fabric of many of your relationships. Perhaps you were the perpetual listener, the tireless fixer, the one who consistently minimized their own needs, dreams, or pain to accommodate the comfort and narratives of others. You might have unconsciously played a specific, almost assigned role that allowed those around you to remain comfortably entrenched in their own patterns, even if those patterns were ultimately detrimental to their own growth or your well-being. This contract, though never verbalized, created a predictable and seemingly stable energetic exchange. Your willingness to stay small, to dim your inherent light, inadvertently validated their resistance to change or their reluctance to embark on their own path of self-improvement. When you begin to heal, when you start to assert healthy boundaries, to prioritize your well-being with unwavering conviction, and to emanate a healthier, more vibrant vibration, you are, in essence, unilaterally breaking this long-standing, unspoken agreement. This isn't about assigning blame or fault, it's about recognizing the intricate and often unconscious dance of human connection. For some individuals, their very identity might be deeply intertwined with your former struggles. If you were always the one in crisis, their role as rescuer, confidant, or even the stronger one was solidified. If you were perpetually insecure or struggling, their own self-esteem might have been subtly bolstered by your perceived lesser state. When you courageously step out of these limiting roles, their own sense of self, their place in the dynamic, can feel profoundly threatened. They may not consciously understand why they feel uneasy, anxious, or even subtly hostile, but the disruption to the familiar dynamic can trigger a deep, unconscious resistance. This resistance often manifests as passive aggression, subtle undermining remarks, a general withdrawal, or even a sudden inexplicable coldness, leaving you to grapple with the bewildering reality that your progress, your newfound peace, is met not with celebration, but with a quiet, unsettling distance. The pain point here is the profound and often heartbreaking loneliness that sets in when you realize that the very act of becoming more authentically yourself can lead to the painful dissolution of friendships that were built on the fragile foundation of your former, less evolved self. It's the realization that some people loved the idea of you or the role you played more than the evolving, authentic person you are becoming. Chapter 2. The Mirror Effect. Unveiling unresolved shadows and insecurities. Your light, when it truly begins to shine brightly and unapologetically, acts as an undeniable, often unforgiving mirror. It reflects not only your own magnificent transformation, but also, by stark contrast, the unaddressed shadows, the hidden insecurities, and the dormant potential in those around you. When you embody radical self-love and self-acceptance, it starkly highlights their own internalized self-criticism and self-doubt. When you courageously establish healthy, non-negotiable boundaries, it exposes their own lack of boundaries or their ingrained tendency to overstep and disrespect the personal space of others. When you pursue your dreams with unwavering passion, dedication, and a newfound sense of purpose, it can inadvertently ignite their own dormant desires, their long-suppressed aspirations, and the uncomfortable truth of their own unfulfilled potential. This reflection isn't judgmental, it simply is. It's an objective truth. But for those who are not yet ready, or perhaps unwilling, to confront their own unhealed wounds, their unfulfilled potential, or their ingrained patterns of self-sabotage, this mirror can be deeply uncomfortable, profoundly unsettling, and even acutely painful. Consider a friend who has always found comfort in complaining about their circumstances, perpetually stuck in a victim mentality, yet never taking concrete steps to change their reality. Your sudden surge of motivation, your tangible progress, your newfound joy can feel like an implicit, unspoken criticism of their inaction, their stagnation, and their chosen narrative. They might not articulate it, but an internal dialogue of inadequacy, guilt, or even resentment can begin to churn within them. Why can't I do that? Or, their success makes my own stagnation feel even worse, more glaring. This deep-seated discomfort, often unacknowledged even by themselves, can then be subtly projected onto you. This projection manifests as passive-aggressive critiques, dismissive comments about your efforts, backhanded compliments, or a general air of negativity and subtle disapproval whenever your growth, your achievements, or your newfound happiness is discussed. This isn't about their ill will or a conscious desire to harm you, but about their profound inability to sit with the discomfort of their own reflection, their own unaddressed pain. The loneliness here stems from the heartbreaking realization that those who once cheered you on, or at least tolerated your presence, might now be subtly, almost imperceptibly, trying to dim your glow, not out of malice, but out of their own unaddressed pain, their own fear of change, and their own deep-seated insecurities. Your light inadvertently illuminates their shadows, and not everyone welcomes that illumination. Chapter 3. Sabotage, Resentment, and the Powerful Pull of the Past. As your light continues to grow, becoming more radiant and undeniable, the subtle resentment from those who resist your evolution can escalate into more overt, albeit still indirect and often passive, forms of sabotage. This isn't necessarily a grand, malicious plot or a conscious effort to undermine you, but rather a series of small, insidious actions or words that chip away at your progress, your confidence, and your newfound sense of self. This could manifest in various ways. A friend consistently forgetting or deliberately disregarding your new boundaries, subtly mocking your new healthy habits, or perpetually bringing up your past struggles and failures whenever you celebrate a win or express optimism about your future. They might try to pull you back into old, detrimental patterns, perhaps by tempting you with old destructive habits, encouraging you to engage in gossip or drama you've outgrown, or subtly discouraging your new pursuits by highlighting potential failures or difficulties. Their actions, though seemingly benign on the surface, are often driven by an unconscious, desperate desire to restore the old, familiar dynamic where they felt secure in their place relative to you, where your light was contained and their own darkness remained unchallenged. This powerful pull of the past is a formidable force. It's the seductive comfort of the known, even if that known was unhealthy, dysfunctional, or limiting. For some, your healing journey profoundly disrupts their sense of control or their perceived superiority within the relationship. If they were used to being the one who always gave advice, who had all the answers, your newfound self-reliance and wisdom might make them feel less needed, less important, or even irrelevant. If their identity was inextricably tied to being the stronger one, the more stable one, your burgeoning strength and emotional resilience can feel like a direct challenge to their established role. This dynamic can be particularly painful and bewildering when it emanates from family members or long-standing friends, as the emotional ties are deep, complex, and often rooted in years of shared history. The loneliness intensifies exponentially as you realize that the very people you expected to celebrate your liberation, your growth, and your joy are, in fact, subtly, almost imperceptibly, working against it, leaving you feeling profoundly isolated on a path that should be filled with genuine joy, connection, and mutual upliftment. It's the silent battle against the gravitational pull of their discomfort, a battle you must win for your own continued ascent. Chapter 4. Energetic Misalignment, the Widening Chasm of Vibration. Personal growth is, at its core, an energetic process. As you consciously heal, evolve, and raise your awareness, your vibrational frequency inevitably shifts. You begin to resonate with different energies, different perspectives, different values, and fundamentally different ways of being in the world. This profound, energetic realignment can create a widening, often painful chasm between you and those who choose to remain stuck in lower vibrational states, clinging to old patterns, limiting beliefs, or unresolved emotional baggage. Conversations that once felt engaging, even comforting, may now feel draining, superficial, or utterly meaningless. Activities you once enjoyed together may no longer hold the same appeal, leaving you feeling restless or unfulfilled. You might find yourself craving deeper, more authentic connections, intellectual stimulation, or spiritual exploration, while those around you are content with superficiality, gossip, or perpetual negativity. This isn't a judgment of their path or their choices, but rather an honest acknowledgement of yours. The energetic misalignment can manifest as a pervasive feeling of being profoundly misunderstood, of speaking a completely different language, or of simply having outgrown certain relationships, much like shedding an old skin. It's an unavoidable, albeit challenging part of the evolutionary process, but it can be incredibly isolating. The pain point here is the profound, almost existential loneliness that arises from recognizing that your growth, your expansion, necessitates a natural shedding of old energetic ties that no longer serve your highest good. While it's an absolutely necessary step for your continued well-being, emotional freedom, and spiritual progression, It can leave you feeling adrift, navigating a vast new landscape of self-discovery without the familiar anchors of old friendships. This solitude, though initially painful and disorienting, is often a crucial prerequisite for attracting new connections that are truly aligned with your evolved self, your higher purpose, and your newfound vibrational frequency. It is in this space of quiet detachment that new, more resonant connections can begin to form. Chapter 5. The Gift of Solitude, Reclaiming Your Space and Attracting New Light. The loneliness that accompanies this profound phase of growth is not a punishment, nor is it a sign of failure. Rather, it is a necessary passage, a sacred space of purification and integration. It is precisely in this space of solitude, this quiet detachment from old dynamics, that you truly integrate your healing, solidify your boundaries with unwavering resolve, and deepen your connection to your authentic, unburdened self. This period of intentional solitude allows you to discern with crystal clarity what truly serves your highest good and to courageously release what no longer aligns with your evolving truth. It's a time for profound introspection, radical self-nurturing, and reinforcing the foundational pillars of your new empowered self. Embracing this solitude means accepting, with grace and compassion, that not every relationship is meant to last forever, and that some connections, no matter how cherished, served their purpose in a previous chapter of your life. It means understanding, with unwavering conviction, that your light is not meant to be dimmed or diluted for the comfort of others, and that true reciprocal connection blossoms only when both individuals are free to shine in their full, authentic brilliance. As you stand firm and unwavering in your light, radiating your truth without apology, you create a powerful, energetic beacon. This beacon will, in its divine timing, attract new relationships that are built on a foundation of mutual respect, genuine support, shared values, and a collective commitment to growth. These new connections will not be threatened by your brilliance. On the contrary, they will be illuminated, inspired, and amplified by it, creating a vibrant network of authentic connection that truly nourishes your soul and propels you forward. The initial loneliness, therefore, is not an end, but a temporary bridge, a sacred passage to a more fulfilling, more aligned, and more energetically resonant relational landscape. It is the crucible in which your true community is forged. Chapter 6. Cultivating Discernment and Protecting Your Radiance. As you navigate this path, cultivating sharp discernment becomes paramount. It's not enough to simply recognize the patterns. You must learn to respond to them with wisdom and self-preservation. Discernment means recognizing the subtle cues of resentment or sabotage without falling into victimhood or bitterness. It means understanding that while their reaction is about their own unaddressed issues, it still impacts your energy and peace. You must learn to protect your radiance. This isn't about building walls, but about creating energetic boundaries that filter out what no longer serves you. This might involve consciously limiting your exposure to certain individuals, choosing not to share your triumphs with those who consistently diminish them, or even, in some cases, lovingly releasing relationships that are consistently draining your energy. Protecting your radiance also means doubling down on your self-care practices, reinforcing your positive affirmations, and surrounding yourself with environments and activities that uplift and nourish you. It's about consciously choosing where to invest your precious energy and time. This chapter is about moving beyond simply understanding the dynamic to actively implementing strategies that safeguard your well-being. It's about becoming the conscious guardian of your own light, ensuring that no external darkness, however subtle, can extinguish the flame you've worked so hard to ignite. The loneliness in this phase transforms into a powerful solitude, a space of strategic self-preservation where you refine your inner compass and fortify your energetic shield. The journey of healing and growth is a profound, transformative odyssey, often marked by unexpected turns and challenging passages. When your light begins to threaten the entrenched darkness in others, it can bring about a painful period of loneliness and the heartbreaking dissolution of familiar friendships. This is not a sign of your failure, your inadequacy, or your unworthiness. Rather, it is a powerful testament to your immense courage, your unwavering commitment to authenticity, and your profound transformation. Understanding the unspoken contracts that once bound you, recognizing the uncomfortable mirror effect you now present, identifying the subtle sabotages, and acknowledging the inevitable energetic misalignments allows us to navigate this challenging phase with greater awareness, profound self-compassion, and a deeper understanding, both for ourselves and for those who struggle to meet us in our new, expanded light. Embrace the solitude, for it is not an emptiness, but a fertile ground for deeper self-discovery, for the integration of your truest self, and for the eventual attraction of connections that are truly aligned with your evolved being. Your light is an invaluable gift, not a burden, and the world desperately needs you to shine unapologetically, brilliantly, and with every fiber of your being. If this message resonated deeply with you, if you've walked this often lonely path of courageous growth, we invite you to leave a comment below. Share your story, your insights, and your experiences. And subscribe to The Inner Light to continue exploring the profound depths of human experience, the intricate landscapes of the psyche, and the boundless power of authentic transformation.